Kenosha, and we're working with HLM mortar. This one's specified NHL. I believe it's 3.0. It's a little bit different than a natural Portland containing mortar. There's no Portland in it whatsoever. Mixing process on it's a little bit different. You have to mix it up, and you want it real dry. You want it more like a dry pack. Consistency from what the manufacturer says is like brown sugar. So pick it up, just make a ball in your hand, but your hand's not wet. Leaves no water. That's exactly what you want. Makes it a little bit more difficult to work with, but that's how it goes in. Alright, so now we got it mixed up. We're ready to transport it over to the scaffolding. We got wet burlap, and we have to cover it up. Keep it moist, hydrated. Nice high humidity environment. Otherwise, it tends to dry out and turn to dust. Alright, so now we're over here getting ready to put some in. First thing you got to do is you have to hydrate the wall. You want to get in the joints, everything else. You want it moist, but you don't want any standing water. Standing water will get the mortar a little bit too wet and it'll start to run. It'll wash out some of the ingredients in it. So very, very much touch and feel, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. Alright, so now here we are. We're putting some of it in. As you can see, it goes in pretty much the same as any other mortar. It's a little dry though, and as you're putting it in, it does have a tendency to want to fall. And now, for the final part of the process, instead of a struck finish joint or anything else of the sorts, use a stiff bristle nylon brush, referred to by the architects on that as a gong brush, and you stipple the joint. It gives it a whole lot more surface area, allows it to dry out a little bit differently, and gives it a little bit of a weathered look. So that's exactly what they're looking for with this product. Now the final part of that process is you take a 100% natural sea sponge and you wash the excess mortar off of the stone or brick or whatever you may be using this material on, and all you use is water. Comes off nice and quick, nice and easy. You don't have to put any elbow grease into it or anything. Nice wet sponge, and it comes right off. Alright, and part of the last bit of the curing process is covering it with burlap and being able to keep that burlap in a high moisture state to give the high humidity environment that the mortar needs to cure for 72 hours, as well as providing protection from the sun and the wind. This here's been up there, everything's cured out, and we're in the process of taking it down. That's why it's kind of in the condition it is, but it's a good illustration of the extra steps that we have to go into for curing as opposed to like a type N mortar. We are actually using garden soaker hoses. They fill up with water and they weep out, and we mount those at the top of the burlap so that it'll wet the burlap and run down. And in the end, after about a 30-minute run, it'll have the burlap saturated from top to bottom and keep that nice humid environment that we're looking for.